You know her from the Big Comfy Couch. She played Loonette the Clown. How can you not remember that? You pretty much woke up to that show every day as a kid. She also voiced a ton of different characters on cartoons in the 90s, from X-Men to The Amazing Spider-Man. Alyson Court is on the line. Alyson, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. The powers of Twitter. Hey, we can connect. This is insane.
Instant gratification, as they call it.
Do you use Twitter a lot? You keep in touch with people, fans, everything like that? You're big on Twitter?
It's been an interesting experience. I originally joined it just for my own personal curiosity. And I wasn't certainly marketing myself as Alyson from any particular show, but people found me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you've seen seen my Twitter in the last 24 hours, but I have a second account.
Oh.
That I kind of resurrected to handle more of the specific fan, promotional, professional. Yeah, there seems to be a demand for that.
Do you find?
I don't know if you've heard of this crazy thing called conventions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that's a big thing, and I guess a lot of people are asking me to start going to them. So I decided I guess I should grow up and have a more professional Twitter account.
Now, when they're asking you to go to the conventions, now is that just the voice work you did in the 90s? Is that more so for that, for like the X-Men stuff? Is that why they want you to go to this?
It's funny. It's right across the board. There are people who know me from Big Comfy Couch.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, throughout most of the 90s, I was, I'm such a hipster, I was doing conventions and all of these promotions before they were cool.
Oh, yeah.
Most of my career in the mid to late 90s was traveling around primarily the United States, but some Canada and other places in the world like Australia, promoting the Big Comfy Couch. And I was going to a lot of store openings and mall openings and product launches and stuff, and it would be, hours and hours of sitting there with people lined up to have photos taken and autographs signed and things like that. There still is a following for the Big Comfy Couch, and because we just celebrated our 20th anniversary this year, it's been 20 years since we first went on the air.
Woo.
Yeah.
It's been a long, it seems like it was just like not too long ago. I was actually at a bookstore here in Saskatoon, a pretty big bookstore, and walking through like the kids section, like they have the Big Comfy Couch like collection on DVD. It's still kind of big, like parents still buying it for their kids and everything.
They are, and I think what happened was with the 20th anniversary, they relaunched the DVDs. I think it's a new wave of all of that stuff coming out to celebrate the 20th anniversary, because it makes sense. It was there are people who now have children who they themselves grew up on Big Comfy Couch, and I don't even like thinking about that because it makes me feel ancient. But it's a fact. They're out there, and like the same way I feel when I pull out my old Mr. Dress-Up tapes.
Oh, Mr. Dress-Up! You were actually on the episode on an episode, correct?
Yeah, I was on Mr. Dress-Up for I did. I guess I was on there for 10 years.
So you were a fan of Mr. Dress-Up, and then you end up being on the show later. That must have been a very surreal experience for you. It
was. It was bizarre and wonderful, and he's. Ernie was exactly the way people have described him, which is just sweet, down to earth, great sense of humor, just wonderful, wonderful man to work with. So you couldn't ask for a better mentor. Even if I had known that I was going to end up doing the Big Comfy Couch, I couldn't have asked for a better mentor in terms of doing children's television.
And you did so many different types of television. You've done the live action stuff, but you've also done a lot of voice work too.
Yes.
Wow. So you've recently been in, like I was kind of looking at your online, like the Resident Evil, was it Degeneration? Was that the one?
Degeneration was the movie they made, and that was so long after the last game I had done. The last time I played Claire Redfield prior to Degeneration was Code Veronica.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually didn't even know this, and I've played some of the games too, once or twice, and I didn't actually make the connection. So it's weird that Claire Redfield is on the phone right now. It's kind of odd, but wow, it's cool how you got into that. It must be. Do you prefer that kind of over the live action stuff? Like, it must be kind of a good break to just do some voice work. It must be a lot of fun too.
It is. It's Well, I like both, and they're very different worlds. I think my least favorite genre is film.
Yeah.
Because it's so slow. Unless you're making a Canadian film with no money, and then it's you're flying by the seat of your pants. Right?
You got like an hour. You got to get the equipment back to the rental place.
Like,
you got to
was great. You almost hit your mark. You kind of said your lines. Go with it. Next. And oftentimes, Canadian television is of the same vein, where you've got multi-cameras, and as long as you don't get a camera in the shot and you don't swear in front of the camera, then the take is pretty much good and you're going to move on. And I like that. I like the intensity and the burden of the responsibility to not screw up because you can't afford to screw up. I thrive in those situations.
Yeah.
So live action television and low-budget movies are loads of fun to do. But, yeah, as a single mom, my son is now 10, voice work has just been a saving grace for me because it's a very flexible schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
And, it's loads of fun. And now I've got shows on the air that my son is suddenly really into. He loves them. And I'm starting to become cool in his eyes.
It must be weird. Yeah, like him and his friends will get together and they'll be playing like Resident Evil someday and be like, that's my mom. Like, that's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of cool, though, but wow.
Well, and also for him, it's his mom and his dad. So there's that whole weird... Resident Evil is one of those things where he just sort of rolls his eyes at and he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not interested.
Just skip by that one.
But with the cartoons now, like Almost Naked Animals and then Garage Band, he wore an Almost Naked Animals T-shirt to school, and a couple of the boys in one of the older grades saw it, and they flipped out. They're like, where did you get that T-shirt? They're not selling that kind of stuff online yet or in stores yet. Where did you get it? And that was the first time, because he's used to people going, oh, your mom was Loonette, that's cool, and that, preschool, clown, weird, whatever. But with the Almost Naked Animals recognition for the T-shirt, suddenly he's like, hey, the older guys think I'm cool because of my mom. All right, Mom, maybe we can hang out.
Yeah, that's kind of the opposite. Usually it's like, Mom, like, not now. I got friends over. Like, get out of here. And wow, they're the cool mom. That's great.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to finally having some street cred with my kids.
Man, do you think the kids ever bug him? Like, hey, when every morning, do you have to do the clock stretch with your mom, or?
Not really, because he's been going to the same school since he was 3, and so everybody already knew, from nursery, from the time that they all met me, and I was fairly involved with the school as well. So the novelty and the silliness of that whole thing has kind of worn off.
Do you still start your day with that, by the way, or not so much anymore?
Not before coffee, anyway.
Is that all one? How did that work out when you filmed that? Was it the same kind of take every episode, or it was different? Was it not?
Not every episode. We filmed
just a bunch of them, and
I want to say 4 different stretches the first year.
Wow.
And then in the 3rd year, we reshot a few of them.
Oh.
Just, I guess the video quality had degraded, so they wanted to get it back looking sparkly and new.
See, well, looking at that, I thought for sure, instead of a future in voice acting, I thought yoga instructor for sure, but completely the other way.
Yeah. The funny thing with doing the clock stretch is it's such an iconic image, with the clock.
Yeah, that's true.
And people don't realize, so that was the same studio floor that we shot everything else on.
Oh, wow.
So it was a cement studio floor that they had just painted the clock face on. And this is why we didn't shoot it every single episode. Because, to be honest, rolling around on a cement floor is not my most favorite thing in the world to do. Contrary to what you may have heard. Yeah. Not so much fun.
No, yeah, not on purpose anyway. Sometimes it happens by accident to the best of us. But now for you in the future, Alyson, what's going on? More voice work for you? You keeping busy?
I am keeping busy. There's a new show called Garage Band. It airs on Teletoon on September 10th, I believe.
Very cool.
So that's the one we're getting really geared up for. It had an earlier release in the United States on the Cartoon Network.
Okay.
And it's been receiving a lot of good attention. So we're really excited about that one. It's Neptune Studios and Fresh Animation, and they did Total Drama Island and 16 and
oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah, all of those successful shows. So we're really, really looking forward to that. I cannot wait for it to start on the air here because so many of my friends are like, we can't see it. It's not fair that the Americans get to see it first. It's a Canadian show. But that's the nature of the industry. So there's that. And then later this week, we have an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign launching for Rufus Steampunk, which is actually live action.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So Rufus, the dog, had his own TV series not long after we shot The Big Comfy Couch in the late 90s. Rufus was on, and it was story time. He would take all of the different classic stories and act them out with it was puppets.
Did Snickle Fritz make an appearance in this at any point?
It would be fun if Snickle Fritz made an appearance in Steampunk. Oh, he would look great in a top hat and a monocle.
You should push that. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Combine the old with the new audience, you know?
That's right. We might have to put the flying spaghetti monster wig on top of his head just to kind of disguise him a little. But yeah, so we shot a trailer for this, and it's the puppets from Rufus the dog mixed with real actors, live action actors, and CG backgrounds. It looks spectacular.
Wow. Very cool.
And we launch our campaign later this week to raise enough money so we can go ahead and actually film the entire special. It's a one-off, and then if we can get a good response with that, then it's going to be a fairly regular web series that we're doing.
Nice. Wow, you are keeping busy. Very busy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's amazing, and we'll check out the show. And yeah, I don't want to keep you much longer, Alyson, but thanks a lot for the time and getting this all kind of put together last minute via Twitter. This is great that it actually happened. That's amazing.
This is so fantastic. I really appreciate you reaching out to me and asking to do this. I've only visited Saskatchewan once. I went to Saskatoon once and Regina once, and it was for the Get Set for Life CBC traveling show.
Okay, cool.
And I've been wanting to go back, but then next year I had a child, and life happens, right?
Yeah.
But I really have been wanting to go back. So if you hear of any fan conventions that are going on out there, I really want to make a concerted effort and start getting out and seeing people and traveling the rest of this gorgeous country because it's huge and it's amazing, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Cool. I think we did start one here a couple years ago only. I think we're only a few years into it, but there is one in Saskatoon now. So
okay. Well, tweet me. Let me know.
I should tweet you the details on that.
If you have any information, that would be fantastic.
Of course. It'd be great to see you out here. But Alyson Court, thank you so much for the time, and take care. Hope to see you soon.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.